Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fluentmx. I'm your host, Olivia. Let me guess, today you started learning English. After some time, you stopped. Then you started again. And later, you stopped once more. This happens so many times to so many English learners. In the middle of all that starting and stopping, a quiet thought begins to grow inside your mind. Maybe the problem is me. Maybe I just can't learn English well. But let me tell you something important. The real problem is not you. The reason you are not improving is simply that you haven't found your rhythm yet. Learning a language takes time and small, daily practice helps you get better little by little. I know that specific feeling when you close your English book or close the YouTube app and tell yourself, tomorrow. Tomorrow I will learn. Not lazily, genuinely. You really mean tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And now you're wondering why nothing changed. It's not because you aren't trying. You're trying. You just don't know yet what trying is actually supposed to look like. I know exactly how this feels, because before I sat here talking to you on Fluentmx, I was right where you are. When I was 19, I lived in a small rural town where life moved slowly and opportunities were very limited. I came from a hardworking middle-class family. My father and mother worked long hours every day just to provide food, shelter, and a simple life for us. I watched my parents struggle. I saw the tired look on their faces after hours of labor. Deep inside, I wanted to help them and give them a more comfortable life. Unlike many people who dream of becoming rich or famous, my dream was simple. I wanted to learn English well enough to get a better job in the city. To others, it might not have seemed like a big dream, but to me, it represented a doorway to a different future. I didn't have expensive courses, private tutors, or the latest laptop. I just had my old phone. One day, I decided to download a language learning app and began watching English lessons on YouTube at night. I bought a small notebook with a bright red cover from a corner shop near the market and carefully wrote every new word I learned inside it. Each page felt like a step toward my dream. For the first 2 weeks, I was unstoppable. Every evening after dinner, I sat in the same chair outside my house and studied for hours. I practiced speaking in front of the mirror, laughing at my own mistakes and trying again. While walking to the market, I repeated English words under my breath. Sometimes I even imagined myself having fluent conversations with strangers. I was genuinely excited. Then, my cousins came to visit and stayed for several days. Soon after, there was a family wedding that filled our house with guests, noise, and endless responsibilities. A few days later, I came home exhausted from work and told myself I would study tomorrow instead. Life didn't attack me. There was no dramatic failure, no major crisis, and no one telling me to quit. Life simply arrived the way it always does, quietly, carrying perfectly reasonable excuses. A family event. A busy week, a little tiredness. One missed day became 3 days. 3 days became 7 days. And before I realized it, my red notebook was sitting untouched on a shelf, covered in dust. I stopped for 3 weeks. Not forever, just 3 weeks. But when I tried to open that notebook again, something felt different. The excitement was gone. Starting over felt harder than starting the first time. I was not lazy. I was not careless. And if you are going through this right now, neither are you. What happened to me happens to almost every person who tries to learn something without understanding one simple truth. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. But real consistency has nothing to do with how the weather feels inside you. People hear the word consistency and picture something impossible. Someone waking up at 5 a.m., studying for 2 hours, never missing a day, never tired, perfectly disciplined. That picture is not real. And honestly, it's the exact reason so many people feel like failures before they even begin. Real consistency doesn't mean being perfect every day. It means showing up even when it's difficult. It looks like studying for just 10 minutes after a long, exhausting day. It looks like coming back after 3 weeks away and continuing where you left off instead of giving up. Real consistency isn't about never missing a day. It's about always returning.
Near my grandmother's old house, there was a small, quiet river. In the middle of it sat a single, large rock. It was heavy, hard, and unmoving. It looked permanent. But the river flowed around it every day, calm and steady. The water was soft and gentle, never rushing, never forcing anything. But it kept touching the rock again and again. Slowly, without noise or struggle, it began to break it. Not through power or force, but through patience and consistency. Your brain works the exact same way. It doesn't understand effort the way you do. It understands repetition. Every time you come back, even for a few minutes, even imperfectly, your brain takes notice. Maybe your story isn't exactly like mine. Maybe you stopped because someone laughed at your English. Maybe you stopped because you compared yourself to someone faster and felt small. Whatever your reason, it was real. But the time is not gone. You can still walk back in. Imagine you have a small plant on your window. You water it today, but tomorrow you forget. The day after tomorrow, you remember and water it again. Is that plant going to die? No. It's going to grow. Not perfectly, but slowly it will grow because you came back. When I finally realized this, I stopped punishing myself for the 3 weeks I missed. I made one small decision. Every night after dinner, before looking at my phone or watching TV, I would open my notebook for just 10 minutes. Not an hour. Just 10 minutes. The first night, I read 5 new words. The second night, I listened to a short English conversation. The third night, I described my own day in 4 simple sentences. I woke up early. I went to work. I came home tired. I am learning English. I wasn't always motivated. Most evenings, I was tired. But I opened the notebook anyway. And that is the difference between someone who improves and someone who stays stuck. Your brain is building a shortcut, a habit loop. The first 7 days are the hardest, but soon, it becomes a part of your evening, like brushing your teeth. By the end of my second week, I was walking to the shop when a thought naturally popped into my mind in English. The weather is nice today. 3 seconds. Nobody heard it. But inside, I felt deeply proud. English was starting to feel familiar.
Months later, that 10-minute habit paid off. At my workplace, my manager needed someone to read an email in English. My colleagues stayed quiet, but I looked at it and explained it simply. It wasn't perfect English, but it was clear, accurate, and exactly what the situation needed. Eventually, I moved to the city. I got the job I had been hoping for. And today, I get to sit here and host Fluentmx for all of you. I still have that red notebook. It reminds me that the tired, small-town girl who chose 10 minutes of practice over 10 minutes of rest was already becoming someone. She just didn't know it yet. So, here is what I want you to do after this video. Find something small. Something you can actually do tomorrow evening without any special energy. Maybe it's 5 new words. Maybe it's describing your day in 3 simple English sentences before you sleep. Pick one thing. Write it down and do it tomorrow. Not next week. Tomorrow. Yes, you will have days when you feel like you are falling behind, when you compare yourself to others and think their English is far ahead of yours. It can feel like they are running while you are barely walking. But remember, this is your journey. Just keep showing up. Keep watering your plant. Thank you for tuning into Fluentmx. I'm Olivia, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep learning and keep